Hello, everyone. It's obviously a very great pleasure to be with you all today. It feels, I don't know how you feel about it, but it feels a little bit like a family meeting. I do remember some time ago when we've been having meeting in Copenhagen, in Paris, where we were dreaming about forming our own political party. Here we are. Here we are at the same time when the fascists are making up their own foundation, their own party. Here is the resistance. Here is the anti-fascist party. Here we are. Get ready. And thanks to you all who've been participating in creating it, because we can be proud of it. I'll start with a simple image. This week in France, Jordan Bardella, who is the president of the far right, one of the far right groups in the European Parliament, because now they're like mushroom. Every mandate, there's one additional far right group. So Jordan Bardella, president of the far right group, gathered all of his fascist friends in France, in a small city in the Loiret, and he actually, gathered the worst of the far right. You had there Viktor Orban, who banned the pride in Budapest and happily welcomes the perpetrator of genocide, Netanyahu. We had there Salvini and Abascal, who were respectively big fan of Mussolini and Franco. There was there as well Christoph Bosak from Poland, who assimilate abortion to, Jewish demands in a very anti-Semitic way, and so many other fascists. You know they are there. We know they are growing. You know that they're spreading their hate and their racism. But we are here to say as well from Porto that wherever they govern, wherever they attack women's rights, LGBTI rights, minority rights, wherever they spread their racism, we'll be there. And today, I think about Polish women who are deprived of the right to control their own bodies. I think about LGBTI community in Hungary systematically targeted by Orban's regime. I think about Muslims in France relentlessly vilified by the far right and complicit media. I think about all of those who are scared, all of those seeing their country moving towards the far right. And I want to tell you all that we're here to stand up. We are here to fight. We're here to resist. And we're here to take action against those far rights. And that's one of the reasons why we created that European Party today. In the European Parliament, in the group that I have the great honor to chair and lead, every time they've been organizing one of the fascist events, we do organize protest. We do not leave any single centimeter to the fascists. For example, when they organize transphobic events or racist events, like those promoting remigration, we're there in front of the door to tell them that no, never, ever they could organize such event in the European Parliament. In April, I traveled to Poland with my colleague, Mathilde Panot, chair of the national group in the National Assembly in France, to deliver hundreds of abortion pills to the abortion center in Warsaw, where abortion is banned, and our Polish colleagues, I'm sure, are going to talk about. Soon, with some of you here in the room, we are going to be at the Budapest Pride, banned by Orban. This is what ELA is about. ELA is about a new form of internationalism. ELA is about a new form of activism. ELA is about a new form of resistance. And rather than discussing forever papers, in those very closed rooms, completely disconnected from the reality, that's what we're going to do in the next few months. We are going to take action. And this action starts today. The action starts today because our General Assembly has decided to launch our first campaign ever to end the genocide in Gaza. Because as Katarina rightly pointed out, let's not hide it, this is a genocide that Benjamin Netanyahu is committing in Gaza and should pay the price of it and be prosecuted by the international law. Yes, we refuse to turn a blind eye on what's happening in Gaza, of 2 million of people starving, of a whole population being killed by a government that wants just to create and commit war crimes and crimes against humanity. And you know, in the European Parliament, we've been asking over and over at every single plenary to have a debate and to have a resolution. But here comes the other group standing there, 18 months after the beginning of that genocide, years and decades after the beginning of the colonization in Gaza, standing in front of us and say that we can wait. No, it cannot wait. The genocide cannot wait. The 2 million of people in Gaza cannot wait. The people in Cisjordania cannot wait either. And that's why today I want to praise also the courage of my colleague Rima Hassan, who has been persecuted by the Israeli government for bringing humanitarian aid. And you know, instead of support, the crew faced some sort of contempt from the media, from the Israeli propaganda, mocking them as a pleasure cruise, as if you would go on a boat, bring humanitarian aid for just pleasure. And I want to say here very clearly, because I don't know you, but I was kind of shocked of the lack of reaction from the European authorities. I cannot help thinking that if Rima would not have been a Palestinian, if she would not have been from the left group in the European Parliament, if she would not have been detained by Israel, but by, I don't know, Russia or China, for sure, the European authority would have called for her immediate release, and they refused to do it. And you know, if Rima went there on a humanitarian boat, it was to destroy and to end their humanitarian limits and the humanitarian situation in Gaza that is dramatic. And we know, and she's saying it, that boat will not be enough because there needs to be further action. And together we can shift the balance. This is why I'm proud today that our European Left Alliance together decided to launch its first ever campaign on Gaza and to launch a citizen initiative to end the genocide and suspend the EU trade association with Israel. Talking about action, this is what ELA is about, because we're going to keep the fight until Palestine is free. And I'm sure that with the support of all of you from our 7 parties, and thanks for bringing the flag of Palestine, with the support of all of us 7 parties, we can easily get the 1 million signature that is required. I even have a conviction, and I'm certain that we will manage to do it in way less than a year, because there's not a single second to lose, not a single minute to lose, to end the genocide in Gaza and end the impunity of Benjamin Netanyahu. Of course, ELA won't stop there, because ELA was born from another shared conviction, the need to confront and defeat capitalism. For too long, European ultra-liberal policies have served corporate profit at the expense of workers, human rights, and the planet. They are deepening inequalities and favoring the rise of the far right. But instead of realizing that they're leading Europe straight to the wall, they continue business as usual and go further in deregulation because they take Donald Trump and Elon Musk as their model, as if there was no alternative. But there is an alternative. And this alternative will further support, foster, and strengthen it with the foundation that ELA is going to build together, a foundation to share ideas, a foundation to share perspective, a foundation to share good practices, a foundation to think but also to act on the side of ELA. This is what ELA will be about this year, thinking and acting. And I think the two together, the party and the foundation, will achieve it. And I'm very proud that we can do it together as well. To end on this, I know that sometimes it feels a little bit like swimming against the tide. For those who don't know me, I play water polo, so I like swimming against the tide. And we've got mountains to claim. But this is precisely this anger against those who despise people and don't care about the future that led to the creation of ELA to defend the people and the planet. And this indignation against destructive neoliberalism and the hatred of the far right must serve as a driving force to resist, hope, and act collectively. This will be ELA's power, to act every time it's possible, to resist the far right, to protect those who need us, to hope and give hope for another model of society based on social justice, feminism, ecological transition, and anti-racism. And I wanted to add and to finish and conclude with a citation of Pier Paolo Pasolini, whom I know you must know him, an Italian poet. He was saying, we did nothing to ensure that there would be no fascists. We merely condemned them. You might think about some people. That's me adding it. We merely condemned them, flattering our consciences with our indignation. We're not here just to indignate. Friends, comrades, we have a lot to do together. We're not here just to indignate. We're here to act together. And it starts now, because when we sing Siamo tutti antifascisti, we make sense about it and we act about it. Thank you very much.